but my brother Ryan's not going to be here today because he's MIA. So, today we're going to be making a white chocolate and blueberry swirl raw cheesecake. Raw cheesecakes are way better than normal cheesecakes because they're free of all the cream, sugar, which is white sugar, and cheese. Whereas they do have good fats in the cacao butter and nuts. As you might have already realized, we are going to be making another raw dessert. We're making another raw dessert not because we really like it, which we do, but because for our last video, you might have needed to buy some special ingredients because it was on raw chocolate. So, these special ingredients may have included agave syrup and cocoa butter. Now, thank you to Paolo from Maritai Organics for sending us these yummy ingredients. We are not going to need much equipment for this, but the equipment we will need is a cheesecake tin with it greased with coconut oil, and we've pre-cut paper and put it on the baking paper and put it on the inside. We'll also need a food processor. This is our food processor. It's a Thermomix. Now you don't need a Thermomix. It works fine with a normal food processor. So first, we need to make the base. The base consists of 1/3 of a cup of desiccated coconut. Shredded coconut is fine as well. 3/4 of a cup of almonds. 4 medjool dates, de-seeded, and they're the squishy ones. And 1/2 cup of walnuts. We are also going to need 1 small apple, so about this size. And we've already pre-cut it. So now you just put all your ingredients into the food processor. And I'm going to turn the camera off for this because this can be very loud. Jeez, that was loud! Anyway, oh, I think my hat's a little bit rumpled. This is the texture of, we've just blended the ingredients up, and we've now got the base. This is the texture it should be, and I'm now going to press it flat into the tin. So that was really fun. It might take a while because it's hard to get it even, but eventually you can get it like this, even, and yeah, you have to work it so that it's flat and even. Okay, so these are the ingredients that you will need for the filling. You will need 2 cups of soaked macadamias or cashews. Now cashews will make a creamier cheesecake. You have to soak them for 6 hours. Long time. You also need to get cocoa butter, 100 grams of it. So 100 grams of cocoa butter. 1/4 of a cup of blueberries. 1/3 of a cup of agave syrup, which I'm not going to lift up for obvious reasons. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now extract, not essence. And a pinch of salt. You will also need 1 cup of almond milk. Now I've got homemade almond milk, but if you're not so picky about it being raw, you can go to the shops and get other milks such as soy and almond and rice. Okay, the first thing we have to do is melt the cocoa butter. I showed you in last time's video, but I'll briefly explain for those who haven't seen it. First, you get a saucepan and fill it with water, and fill it partly with water, about that much. Then you get a metal bowl and put it over the top. You then put all the cocoa butter in the metal bowl and turn it on so that the boiling water slowly melts the cocoa butter. So we're going to stop the camera and melt the. So now we've got our cocoa butter melted, and I'm going to add all my ingredients into the food processor. You don't need to wash out your food processor once you've used it once, because you're just blending everything up into it, as long as you get most of the stuff that you've already blended up out of it. So, I will put this in. And the nuts. The nuts, when soaking the nuts, helps make them more creamy. And I've got some agave syrup, which is spilling over the side. Here we go. Okay, so that's the agave syrup. And 1 teaspoon of the vanilla. Now remember, it's extract, not essence. So always, if you're going to pour something into a teaspoon, always do it over your food processor or whatever you're pouring it into, in case you spill some, like I just did. So, that's that. And now just a little pinch of salt. Now it's better to use sea salt than table salt, because sea salt is natural and it's got more nutrients and things in it. So, and oh yeah, and we got to add the milk. Can't forget about the milk. There we go. So now I will blend it up. Now you should also, we're going to turn the camera off again because this is very loud. Okay, so now, you should have blended it until it's nice and smooth and creamy. And so you pour it in, you pour it into the tin. So, yeah, don't think that's enough. And you only pour half in, and then you shake it around, making sure that it's nice and even. So it's looking something like this. It's very nice and creamy and smooth. So now you add your blueberries into your food processor. And blend it up again. We have just added blueberries to half of the mix. We poured the other half on top of the base. We now get this nice purpley mixture. And so now I'm gonna pour the blueberry mixture, just, in a wavy pattern over the top of our other mixture. Then, just do the same thing as the other mixture. You wave it around and make a nice pattern, so that when you cut it, you can see a nice swirly pattern on the inside. So, just making sure I get all of it out. You can get a spoon and do this, so that when you cut it, it makes a nice wavy pattern. The next step is to set your cheesecake. So what you have to do is you have to put it in the fridge or freezer. The freezer, of course, will take less time. And wait for your cheesecake to set. Now, for the purposes of this video, I have already set my cheesecake, and it should look like this. Now, don't mind the slice. I was a little bit too eager. I wanted to take a bit. So, after you've done that, you cut around the edges of your cheesecake. you know. Making sure that it's nice and even. And then you lift off the edges of the cheesecake tin. Take a slice and you're ready to go. Now, remember when we mixed the two layers together? It created this nice swirl. So now, time to eat. Oh, listen! Creator of the recipe needs to find the ingredient.